So, hey everybody, how's it going? This is
Hey,
Veteran Crypto. We got Josh and we got Jeff, the Blockchain Report, and this is DeFi, crypto, and airdrops. So, yeah, we'll jump right into it. Tonight, kind of what we were thinking is Josh is new to DeFi. To be honest, for the most part, so am I. I've been in it, as you all know, for about 2 months, 2.5 months, and Jeff as well is just starting to dip his toe into it. So we thought we'd do just a little video on how to what we do to pick our liquidity pools, and maybe answer some questions. Josh being new to it, he has some very fresh insights and things that might assist some of you with getting into DeFi if it's something you're interested in. How you doing tonight, Josh?
I'm good, man. Just working on the DeFi stuff. It's like the deeper I go, the more there is to learn about it. So it's a slow going, but I mean, it's gonna change lives. So I feel like it's definitely just about the determination to learn and ask questions and keep it going.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I mean, honestly, every time that you think that you understand everything you need to learn, everything that you learn, you need to learn 10 other things. I mean, it's this never ending fucking novel to where like it starts out, it's a pamphlet. And then by the time you fucking start reading, it like just keeps growing. The shit that you have to delve into to be.
It's like one of the bills in Congress where they have 1,500 pages, and you're like, wait, how did I end up with this big stack of?
Yeah, no, they're like, they give you one page and they're like, okay, here's the bill. And then like, as soon as you read that, they hand you another page and another page and another page. And then like fucking 10,000 pages later, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think it's just as simple as getting into a liquidity pool and then then you're down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, it really is, that annoying at times, but I mean, but the benefits, you cannot deny the benefits if you do it right. And hopefully we can help some people out there avoid some of the pitfalls that I've made. 100%. It's like, I post a lot, my successes like most people do. And I try to be very transparent about my failures. And, there's times like right now, some of the ones I've been posting about VVV, where I'm making, supposedly making, insane APRs. I'm making a good amount of money, but it's not reflective of what the APR says I should be making. And with the dump that VVV took, I am not making as much in fees as I have lost in the amount of money that I have in the pool. So I'm not worried about it. We'll get into it. I'm not worried about it, and I'll explain why, as we move forward. So to start out, Josh, what is it that, I mean, other than, seeing me go on and on about it, what is it that got you into wanting to get into DeFi?
That was pretty much it, man. Seeing that episode on Blockchain Basement, just a way to get your stagnant coins moving and making some money, and it being less of a gamble. That is just an easy sell, man. I mean, it's hard to not want to learn. Learning it is hard, but it's been hard for me anyway. I mean, I'm just now kind of getting my head wrapped around crypto, so I'm definitely running before I can walk, as you like to say. It's
the crawl, walk, run.
Yeah, right. But I feel like that's how a lot of people learn. Throw yourself into the fire, put a little bit of money in there, and see how it actually works and what doesn't work, and go on from there. And then develop some questions and hone your technique.
Well, I mean, that's what me and I feel what Jeff did. I mean, I just got to a point to where I was like, the only way I'm going to learn is to do it. I'm one of those, I can't read about it. I have to actually do something to learn it. And so I threw a couple $100 in, and I was successful. So I threw a couple $100 more and a couple $100 more, and got to where, I had about $16,000, dollars in, and I've just been using that, 16,000 roughly, to, earn yield. And I'm just taking that yield and I'm peeling it off and, and basically plussing up bags and, entering into things like Plume and, just, all these other interesting projects that I'm finding. And, it's, time will tell. I mean, off all my tracking sheets and stuff like that, I'm definitely showing that the amount of tokens that I have and the amount of projects I'm in is increasing. Obviously, with the way the markets have been, the dollar amount has fluctuated. So I'll start with that. If you're going to get involved in DeFi, keep in mind, don't focus on the dollar amount so much. It's counterintuitive, I know, but you'll drive yourself crazy. And I think it was either Jeff or Josh, one of you guys was hitting me up about that, where, it seemed like just everything kept going down. And you were like, am I doing this right? Am I fucking up? Am I just losing money? And that's the way that when you get into crypto, when you go into CoinMarketCap and you have your portfolio tracker and stuff like that, that's how you're programming yourself to think, is the dollar value of your portfolio. But in DeFi, because you're earning and you're putting, buying other, projects and tokens, and, the prices are going up and down, and it's, DCAing you in and out of positions based off the liquidity pairs the assets in the pool that you're in. It's really easy to get confused and wonder, am I making money or losing money? So, what's been your experience so far? Let's kick it over to Jeff real quick. What's been your experience so far with what I was just talking about?
Yeah, I haven't really been hit too bad with impermanent loss, just because the rewards that have been generated have definitely outweighed any losses that I may have incurred from, it averaging into Ethereum. But I did move some into that VVV pool last night, because I was like, well, this thing's dumping, but if I felt like it could, stabilize right here, especially overnight with, things usually just kind of tread sideways, especially being the weekend, heading into the weekend. So I was like,
glad you brought that up. The weekend is a great time for sideways action.
And oh yeah, that's true.
So yeah, if you can get into a liquidity pool like on a Friday evening and just ride it through the weekend, that's actually a really good strategy. That's smart of you.
I don't know much about Venice Coin. Real quick, is that still something that you're bullish on, or you're happy to hold? I heard there was some insider trading or something going on that was why it was dumping or something. Are you still?
Yeah, you posted something about that. Share that if you would. What did you find?
I saw last night that there's a lot of speculation that it was just like a cash grab, and a lot of insiders were selling, but that's as much as I know. VVV. I was just doing it because, Mike, you said something about the volatility being super high, and so I checked it out, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So
the volume was insane. I think it still is.
Well, because the APR was like 40 or 50,000%, and so I threw $300 in the pool, and then I set a range of like what $4 up to $7, and that was last night, and just under 24 hours, it's earned me like $20. It said like $200 or $300 as the daily rewards, but it's maybe 5 more hours until 24, so 19 hours, and it's earned $20. But still, I mean, that's off $300.
See, this chart is fucking beautiful for DeFi. So
nice
ranges. Well, looking at this, you can see Like this level, the $6.13 is resistance. And then down here, let's go to TradingView. I hate that freaking pop-up that gets.
And I'm only holding this for a short time because
Yes.
almost like swing trading some of these, because that's what I kind of started doing with that Arrow wrapped ETH pool, is that I'll just kind of do it as I'm kind of swing trading it based off of ranges. And if it looks like it's going to dump, then I'll kind of get out and wait for it to dump, so then I can re-enter. Just kind of stuff like that. Like if you want to trade it, that could be a strategy too.
See, let me go through
If you want to be more
steps.
active.
So I have kind of three buckets that I usually like divvy up my pools. So here, I'll show you my pools real quick, and that will give you a visual on what exactly. Hold on, real quick.
You have like a small percentage for the most volatile ones, right?
All right. So basically, what I have is this is my bread and butter. Since I started, Wrapped ETH USDC has just been my fucking workhorse. This thing consistently makes me yield. And the way that ETH has been like trending sideways for the most part, like in the low to mid, 3,000 range, I set a nice wide 12% range. It's stayed in there nicely, pretty much daily. I've, earned anywhere from, $30 to $100. And then I have what I consider my Arrow HODL bags, which is the Arrow USDC. So it's.
What coin are you earning the rewards in for the Wrapped ETH USDC pool?
USDC stays stationary and Arrow moves. So it's a lot easier. Basically, for it to stay in range, it's a matter of the price of Arrow and not the price difference between Wrapped ETH and Arrow. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I prefer that, like having a stable as one of the assets. I do not like this one, Wrapped ETH Morpho. The only reason I got into this is because they are highly correlated, which means that they like to move together. So, you don't get that opposing motion that gives you that divergence loss.
Mm-hmm.
When
is that
ETH
just
goes
coincidence?
up, usually Morpho goes up. What's that?
Is that just coincidence that they moved to why is that? Why do certain things move together? Is that just kind of how the market moves, or?
Well, and it's honestly, we could go down definitely down a rabbit hole on that one.
It depends on the area, like if it's AI or DePIN or
yeah, I mean, it could be, well, like VVV. If you had that, matched against ETH today, ETH actually went up a couple percent, and VVV was dumping. So you would have seen a huge, rapidly, would have gotten out of range because
that's where you get more crushed. Oh my gosh!
Exactly. So I'll show you. This is what I use to find the correlation. Let me pull it up real quick. So this
Mike, in the Wrapped ETH USDC pool, what are you earning the fees in? Is it Wrapped ETH, or are you earning that in USDC? Because I know the Arrow pool, you earn it in Arrow.
Since it's on Aerodrome, I'm earning Arrow.
Okay, so no matter what pool, you're earning Arrow.
Yeah, if it's on Aerodrome, they only if especially on VFAT. On VFAT, if you're staked, well, if on Arrow, they actually stake. So on VFAT, you're going to earn an Arrow. Now, remind me.
And
Let me get back
okay,
to that.
Yeah.
But I want to stay on track here.
Yeah. We'll
So
circle back.
this is the tool that I use. It's a correlations matrix. It's on DeFi Llama. You guys, I don't think you guys can see that, but it's on a website called DeFi Llama.
Yeah. We can
So
see.
you can click this little. You can click this plus symbol down here, and you can type in, right there, Venus token. So I can add that, and then say that I want to add. What's something else that you guys want to maybe check for a correlated pair?
When I looked it up earlier on VFAT and Aerodrome, I could only find what were you in? You were in a USDC VVV pair, right? Because I could only see wrapped ETH and VVV on either one of those. The pair for USDC wasn't showing up on VFAT.
That might have been like something that you had clicked in your filter or something like that. But as you can see here, so the closer that you can get to 1, the better. So like a 0.64 is good, but not as good as a 0.81. So BNB BTC, if you could find a BNB BTC pair, that is what's considered highly correlated. They move together. Correlation means they move together. Now, something like breaking this, a VVV ETH is not moving together in the past year. Of course, VVV hasn't been out that long. In the past 7 days, because you have 7 days, a month, and a year. So you basically want to find whatever has the highest value, and that's going to be the best one to get into. So this is just
time
one
period?
Of the tools. What's that?
Which time period do you use most often? The 7 day?
7 day.
Yeah.
You want to see, like kind of the most recent, because, over the past month, a lot of things can happen over a month. I usually go 7 days. And like I said, the wrapped ETH USDC pair is definitely the bread and the butter of kind of the tortoise, the slow and steady that wins the race. That's your foundation. Find something that is just going to earn you good, steady yield. And that's your first bucket. And that should be probably a third, if not half, of your DeFi portfolio. It's, you don't want to, put a large amount of your DeFi portfolio in a high risk play. It's just like, you don't want to put all your money in a meme coin. Same thing.
Right. Is this something you're using strictly for the CL, like the concentrated liquidity pairs?
Yes.
Yeah.
AMMs are usually, they don't have a range, so you don't need to worry about if they're correlated or not. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Now with real quick, with rebalancing, are the fees always the same to rebalance, or does it depend whether you're out of range? Like, what dictates the fee for rebalancing? Is it ever worth rebalancing while you're still in range to tighten it up to earn a higher yield, or are you still going to get hit with the same kind of fee? Okay. You only want to rebalance when you're out of range.
If you're in range, just let it ride. I'm a firm believer in just slow and steady, wins the race. Like right now, it doesn't seem like a lot in DeFi, but that wrapped ETH USDC pair, I'm making usually around 80%. I've seen it as low as 50%, up to, I would say probably 500% is probably the best that I've seen. But
I saw it today. I've got 300 in that pair. I just loaded up another $250 into that pair. Nice. Just to get some more funds in it. And it was going anywhere from 500 down to 200 in a flash. So that's where I'm thinking like being able to organize and get that. I think I need that impermanent loss spreadsheet or calculator or something, because it's hard to figure out what exactly you're earning, like you were saying.
Yeah. And like I said, when you're getting started, that's why it's a lot easier to get into liquidity pairs that have a stable in it, because really there isn't divergence loss. By definition, if the amount of your deposit is going down, like my wrapped ETH USDC, I started out with $7,900 in as far as a deposit. I'm down roughly $800, but it's because that ETH, the price of ETH has gone down. So because I'm in a USDC wrapped ETH pair, it only so if ETH goes back up to the price it was at, which I think was like $3,700, actually I could look at it real quick, because I obviously track it. So yeah, $37.35. If it goes back up to $37.35, I'll have $7,976 as my deposit, plus obviously whatever I've earned. And then if it keeps going up, it will end up going out of the top end of the range, and of course I'll have to rebalance. But then again, I'll start getting the price appreciation at a diminished rate, because I'm not going to get as much as if I was hodling. But I'm earning fees on top of it. So DeFi isn't meant necessarily, especially in a bull market, to outpace hodling. It's meant to mitigate losses, and it's meant to, when the market's trending sideways and even going up, giving you dry powder to DCA or to buy into new projects, DCA out of the market. All of this that I've earned, this $280 in Arrow and Morpho and all these, or BBV that I've earned, I can take that out, using VFAT. Like if I wanted to harvest this, I can come over here and I can exit in any asset that I want: USDT, USDC, Arrow, Morpho. So as the bull market goes on, I can just be stacking USDC, and this is the flywheel, and I can put that into lending. So I can go on to Aave, I can go on to Morpho, I can go on to a lot of different platforms, and the only risk in lending has nothing to do with price change, because if I'm in USDC, if I'm lending it out, I'm making 10 to 20% APR steady. And USDC and USDT aren't going to, lose value necessarily. The only risk you're taking on is if that platform goes under, or if that platform gets hacked, because there isn't insurance. So
or a DPEG.
Yes, or if USDC, USDT depegged. Absolutely. Thank you. So,
that happened one time a few years ago, actually, just like USDC depegged. It was like 97 cents, I think, or 98. It was crazy, or maybe lower. It was like a flash.
Yeah. So
it's like, what is happening?
That and that is a little more advanced, and we've talked about it before, and we'll talk about it again. But I want to keep this kind of basic. But that is what you should be focused on, is first of all, getting in a USDC wrapped ETH, or something like that. That's just nice, steady money that you're able to keep in range. And then as you're earning, money, then getting into something, into other bags or liquidity pools of assets that you want to stack more of and have exposure to as price goes up. Does that make sense, Josh? I know I threw a lot at you.
No, yeah, that's good. So divergence, I'm familiar with impermanent loss. Divergence loss, is that what you're talking about with not worrying about the value of it? Like when it depreciates, what is divergence loss?
So my rudimentary understanding of it is I call divergence loss when you're in two volatile assets. So like if I'm in a wrapped ETH arrow pair, then as they diverge, if one goes up and one goes down, as they diverge, then it's going to DCA you out of one into the other. And so it's going to affect the amount that you have as a deposit. Now, impermanent loss is what I call personally, and I don't know if this is the actual definition, but like USDC arrow that I have, if the price goes down and I freak out, my deposit amount, because it's a stable coin, an arrow. If the price of arrow goes down and I have $1,000 in there and it goes down by 10%, I'm going to have $900. If I panic and sell, I lock in that loss. So it's no longer a permanent loss, it's an actual loss. Now, if I wait and I'm patient and it rebounds at 10%, I'm again going to have $1,000 in that deposit. So that's why it's important that you don't rebalance too much, because if you only made $20 or $30 in fees, but divergence loss or impermanent loss, you lost $100 and you lock that in, now you've lost $80. You made 20, you lost 100, you lost 80 basically.
So when you say selling, do you mean rebalancing? Like that's what you're kind of doing when you rebalance it? Okay.
If you rebalance or you just exit the liquidity pool at all, and that's what rebalancing is, basically exiting the liquidity pool and re-entering the liquidity pool. Anytime that you do that, you lock in those losses. Now, keep in mind, if you're re-entering the same pool, technically, if it goes back up to the price that you were at minus fees, for the most part, you're going to make that money back. So for me, I'm not scared if it's a USDC and another asset. I'm not scared to rebalance if I know that asset's going to go back up. Especially on something, if I'm earning like 724% on USDC Arrow, I want to stay in range. I want to earn fees. My rule of thumb personally is I wait 24 hours before I rebalance.
And what kind of range do you stick with? Like what percentage?
It depends.
Because I noticed the smaller like the Arrow one, you have a wider range, just because the smaller assets do move a lot more than something like Ethereum. But
so like my USDC Arrow, we'll use that as an example. It goes right back to the resistance and support levels. And I usually use the 1 hour chart because obviously I'm not getting in and out like a trade. I'm not going to use the 15-minute chart. I'm going to use the 1 hour, the 6 hour, something that shows some longevity because you're wanting to stay in range for a longer period of time. So like Arrow, I would look at this if I was going to enter this, and I would say, all right, I got a horizontal line. This is obviously a place of support. It bounced off that. And then another one would be this area would probably be good, anywhere in here.
What time frame?
Definitely $1.25.
Yeah, definitely up here.
You got a nice,
and you know what? There is
spot.
nothing wrong with doing a wider range. Yeah, you're going to earn a little less APR, but you know what? I mean, that's a beautiful range right there. I mean, even if you go back, to here, there was like a whole, there was. I mean, this is here. I'll measure it out. So basically, from here to here, you're looking at 13 days, 20 hours. So almost
that's 2 weeks.
That's almost 2 weeks of being in range if you would have picked that range. So, it's better to stay in range for a longer period of time than to have to rebalance, especially if you're dealing with like Uniswap and you're on ETH mainnet, where you might have $50 fucking fees or $100 fees. You got to keep that in mind. That's why I love Base so much and Aerodrome so much. That is a great place. Call it Aerodrome, call it DeFi with training wheels. Because because Base has those low fees that are a couple cents, as opposed to ETH mainnet that bit the shit out of me when I first got into crypto. I didn't realize I was paying $50 fees, and I was trying to swap out, trying to move my SHIB and stuff like that. Next thing I know, I don't got, I'm like out of money.
Man, I bought
dude, when I found my taxes, I put all the fees in there. So if you file your taxes, your crypto taxes, put the fees in there. Just a tip.
Yeah, help it out. I bought 1,000 Plume this morning, and the ETH fees ate me up.
What'd you pay?
Oh, dude, you should have used fucking Coinbase.
It's Plume's not on Coinbase, is it?
Oh, Plume. So this is here's a hack for you. So it's on Blowfin. So what I did,
I've heard of it. I have not used it yet. Yeah.
You don't have to KYC. It's the only place I know of to get Plume. Anybody that's watching, feel free. But what I did is I actually took a bunch of my yield that I got off my pools. It was about $1,500. Here, I'll show you. So yeah, there's right there. I moved money out to Plume, $1,500. That I peeled out of here, and I put it in USDC, and then you can move USDC from Coinbase for free. And I moved it to Blowfin, and I bought Plume. Oh, hey, what up, P90? What up, Black Ice? So, so Black Ice says CoinW is where he bought Plume.
CoinW? Do you have the KYC on there? Or
I don't know. I know Josh is big on CoinW. I kind of got scared away. I forget who it was that was talking to me. And they said that they were trying to get involved with Josh's chat on the Discord, and somehow got scammed. Who was that? It's on the tip of my brain. But they ended up getting scammed. It was somebody that was pretending to be Josh. Not you, Josh, but Josh on...
That actually did happen to me, though. I don't know if I told you about that, but I'm sure it's
no. Tell us about it while I freshen my drink.
I tried to get into Josh's Discord chat, and I'm not very familiar with Discord, but Josh messaged me, and I was chatting with him for a bit, and I was pretty skeptical on whether it was real or not, just because I don't trust anybody, like on YouTube, on Discord.
Yeah,
I'm just always trying to protect
who it
myself
was
from that.
So it was you and Bob the accountant. Yeah, that's who it was. Thanks, Sing.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tricky, man, and they'll have like the same name to. With a slight difference. And if you're not paying attention, they will get you.
Yeah. So you have to really click on the profile and shit too to really get in there. And it's not easy, It's not the easiest to navigate if you're not familiar with it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So yeah, I guess you can use CoinW. I've been using Blowfin for a while, ever since I got cut off from KuCoin, which I hear they're going to start letting the U.S. now that Trump's in office, and they're being more crypto friendly. That they're going to let people back on, which I love KuCoin. But yeah, that's how I got a hold of Plume. And I'm glad I did. I'm really bullish on that project. VVV, not so much. It's just an AI play. and it's it's something new, and I'm using a small amount of my DeFi bag to chase those APRs. That's really all that is.
Okay.
But
so wait, so you are bullish on Plume, but you got into it to really focus on DeFi with it?
Well, shit. Well, to be honest, Jeff, he was the one that initially turned me on to it. And then we started harping about it on the Blockchain Basement and stuff like that, trying to tell people about it, and of course did a couple of videos on it. But it's a huge DeFi and tokenization play. RWAs. They're working with Aether, they're working with Ondo, they're working with over 180 or more now, like almost daily. They're putting out. Yeah. Oh shit! Here, I'll fucking bring it up. They're coming out almost daily with multiple new partnerships. So yeah, today they got Kanaza Finance. They got Uniblock that happened 4 hours ago. They got freaking Kanaza that happened an hour ago. That's their staking protocol, RWA marketplace to democratize access to real world assets globally, or yields. Uniblock, simplifying infrastructure complexity, fragmented data sources, and RPC management with seamless all-in-one integration. What else we got here? Yeah, we're partnering. Centrifuge is another one that they're partnered with. I need to follow. They're partnering with Plume Network to integrate and Nimin, whatever that is, Capital, Web3 native asset manager, and then Liquid Treasury Fund, Nest Credit. It's just it goes on and on, dude. I mean, it's in daily.
What would you compare Plume to? Like, what is it most similar to?
Jeff, what would you compare it to? I can't think of anything that has the kind of that's generating the partnerships that it is.
No, not in like the RWA space. So, Josh, like I first learned about Plume last year when they had their test net, and I just thought it was kind of a funny, test net, and didn't really think much of it because, I participate in a lot of stuff, and it just seemed kind of silly, but it was cool to interact with. They at least, made it fun and educational and shit, and you earn the miles that go towards your airdrop and stuff. So I just didn't expect it to be this big, but there's not really there's other RWA plays, but they're more specific towards one thing, like like the finance side. This is a broad spectrum of RWAs across everything, like jewelry, homes, travel, wine, just like any kind of stuff that you want to tokenize.
I'll tell you one thing that stands out to me about Plume is that it has a native cross-chain functionality. So like Link, those of you that don't know, Link, the reason that it is such a pivotal part of RWAs and cross-chain functionality, and why I'm so bullish on that is there's a lot of earlier projects that were spawned earlier in the crypto technology that don't have the functionality to be cross-chain. Plume has a native cross-chain element to it, to where it doesn't need things like Link. And that's important to keep your eye on when you are looking at new projects. Is as this technology evolves, people are going to start building in a lot of the functionality that projects like Link and what's that other one that everyone was like super bullish on?
Oh, Pyth.
No, well, Pyth is one of them.
Is it?
What is it? Freaking Quant.
Is it Ondo? Is it?
No, Quant.
Okay.
Quant. Quant was another one that was giving that cross-chain functionality to chains. So there's as the technology evolves, a lot of these are going to have those native functionalities like integrated into them. So what other questions do you have, Josh? Like, I mean, I definitely want to get back on task. And
has everything been going well since the other night when
with your
you got
wallet
your stuff working?
Yeah, I can do it on my phone. I just now have to bounce back and forth to use DeFi Llama and find pools on Aerodrome and then enter it through my phone, which is a little tedious, but yeah, it works through my phone. I don't know why it doesn't work on my computer, but I can get around it. I have a little bit of trouble understanding or figuring out. You were talking a little bit about how to find good pools and stuff. What does TVL, the total value lock? Because I know that's something you look at. What does that have to do with the pool being a good one to get into?
All right. So this is what I've noticed so far. I'm sure that there's more. So the TVL, or total value locked, you want to have a good amount, because one thing I have noticed is when you enter a pool, if there's not a lot of TVL, whenever you go to enter it, if you have a low TVL pool that you enter, it's going to affect your APR. So if say there's $5,000 that of TVL, if you throw $2,500 in there, if it's saying that you're going to earn 300%, if you throw $2,500 in there, it's going to drop it, because you can dramatically affect that liquidity if you yank your 2,500 out. So I usually go for things with high TVL, just because I want stable returns. I want stable yield. I don't want it to be fluctuating all over the place, like my VVV is right now. It's trying to tell me I got 15,000% that I'm earning, but somehow my wrapped ETH USDC, I mean, I know I have more money in there, but I'm only earning like the highest I've seen it today is like 200 or 300%. How is 200 or 300% outpacing 15,000% APR?
Right. Honestly, it's still getting me. Yeah.
But that's because of the TVL. It's if you look at the VVV, the in-range TVL is only $3,158, and $828 of that is mine.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's not a whole lot of liquidity, people trying to, and I'm guessing that maybe there's not a whole lot of people swapping. This is something that I need to dive deeper into, but I need to figure out how to look at the analytics of the volume of people swapping and assets. So like VVV USDC, people that are swapping from USDC to VVV and vice versa. Like, Jeff, do you know where we can find that?
Maybe Dune Analytics, but I don't know if they do real time though. That's the thing. If you can find a real time volume calculator, I don't know what tools would offer that besides like maybe DeFi Llama. I don't know.
I like that kid Jake Call. He's got Metrics Finance, which I don't know if that's part of the tools in there. It is kind of expensive, and it's a little sketchy to put all your stuff in there. Like you said, you don't really, I don't know if you're fully on board with trusting that platform yet, but he's got a lot of tools fully consolidated into that platform. It looks pretty sweet, but it's a little pricey if you're just starting out. And
it's $40 a month, and I say kid, young man, a very, very sharp young man. It's if you can keep up, it's like trying to listen to what's that conservative Jewish dude, the political guy.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Yeah.
He's
the guy with the face.
Yeah, the guy with the thing and the stuff, It's like, yeah,
the nose.
Yeah, with the nose and the eyes. No, I forget his name, but he talks like a super smart dude, talks super fast, and I can't fucking keep up. The guy you're talking about, that he had some programmers build the Matrix Finance, and great tool. I don't use it. $40 a month. It has some really good tools that are integrated into it to assess and to figure out and project, potentially based off current figures, what you could earn by entering a pool. Great tool. I am very paranoid about using like platforms that I don't, that I haven't vetted.
Ben Shapiro, is that what it?
Ben Shapiro,
C90
yeah.
C90. Okay.
Smart dude, but talks fast as fuck.
Yeah.
What up, C90?
Hey, what up, brother? Yeah, there it is. C90 hooked me up. I appreciate it. So yes, to Jeff, Dune is something that I use quite a bit. And actually, you know what? Do you want to see how I use this, Josh?
Yeah, that was actually something I was going to ask you, is what other tools? I mean, we could stick to, I'm so overwhelmed with DeFi that I think it's good for me to just focus primarily on Aerodrome and VFAT. But what other tools, I know there's DeFi Llama, Dune, I'd like to see Dune, but then maybe after that you go into any other necessary tools that might work in conjunction with VFAT and Aero as well.
Honestly, it looks like the Dune, basically the data compiler, for lack of a better term, that somebody built. Because basically what Dune is it is a data aggregation tool. And so people that are super smart when it comes to Excel and databases, what they'll do is they'll build out these dashboards, and they'll program it to take certain data points and put it into easily digestible. Here, I'll pull up another one so you can kind of see what it does. So it basically into graphs, so that it looks like everything. It might be a problem with Dune, but
it can run kind of slow sometimes, because it does have a lot, especially with the dashboards that are packed with stuff. It can get pretty slow.
Yeah, there's something going on with Dune right now. So basically, like right here, swap fees. So right now, like if you wanted to know, the fee, what's earning the most fees as far as swaps, you could come here, and that one's working. The TVL on Aerodrome per epoch. So here's the first epoch when when it first launched. Here's the last epoch, and so you can see that the total value locked has dropped. Like it reached its height on the 68th epoch, which was in each epoch is a week. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago or 2 months ago, Aerodrome reached its peak as far as TVL. Doesn't mean
I can't
that,
read
like,
it. What's
what's that?
the orange and the purple? What is it?
So
Oh,
Slipstream.
Slipstream.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
What's that? Oh no, I was just reading off thing. Slipstream and basic.
Okay, so Slipstream is their, and I'm going to slaughter this. It's basically the mechanism that they use for fees, which speeds up and allows for cheaper fees. Basic is, higher fees and a little bit slower. So the Slipstream has been becoming.
Oh, he froze. Sometimes he freezes.
You can see that Slipstream, the orange, you can see that it's the market share of what people are using to do their swaps. Over here it's even more obvious. The volume. So the purple is the basic, and the orange is Slipstream.
How do you I understand how to look at it now. What is the difference? Can people choose to, or I don't know if I understand what that means.
So honestly, I don't want to give bad info, and it's something I haven't delved deep into other than what it is. So like I said, on Aerodrome, when it comes to fees, it's negligible. You are not going to get slammed on fees. If you are trading on Aerodrome Finance, or if you're on VFAT and you pick a liquidity pool that's on Aerodrome, you're not going to get slammed that hard. The only difference between on entering a pool on Aerodrome Finance and VFAT are two main things, and I'll show what I'm talking about. So on VFAT, it's a lot easier to enter a liquidity pool because you can just throw USDC into it. You don't have to do a bunch of crazy math figuring out how much of each asset that you need to enter a liquidity pool. However, they do charge you, what is it, 0.09 or 0.9% fee for doing that for you. So if you want to be lazy and not do math, it's going to cost you a little bit. I will actually go there real quick and show you.
Wait, is it 0.9 or 0.5?
I think last I looked, it was 0.9. So here.
Oh man, I might be confused. I didn't think that was percent. I thought that was 0.9 of, I don't know. Maybe I read that wrong. So if you want to enter a liquidity pool and use VFAT for all the technicals, you should enter in on Aerodrome though, so you can stake it, correct? And then migrate it to VFAT, because if you just enter in from VFAT, it's not necessarily connected to Aerodrome that way, right? Or is VFAT and Aerodrome tied together?
Really, it depends. So if you're going to be harvesting a lot, if you're going to be rebalancing a lot, things like that, I use VFAT. If it's something that I am only going to be like harvesting from, I'm not going to be compounding, because you can take the fees. Like on Aerodrome here, I can go to the dashboard at any time. It's a little slow. I can go to this dashboard at any time, and like right now, I have 13.68 Aero. I can claim it, no problem. However, I can't compound it. I can't add to my position. If I want to add, more liquidity to this position in this liquidity pool, I can't do it on Aerodrome. If I want to compound, I can't do it. If I want to rebalance, I can't do it. There's a lot of functionality that you can't do on Aerodrome. However, if I go over to VFAT, and I look at my deposits, and I look at my USDC Arrow AMM, I can do all of these things. If I want to add, liquidity to this, right now I have 2,332. If I want to add $1,000 to it, I can do it here, no matter what the asset is. I just hit increase. This is what's in my wallet. I can say, oh, I got $43 of Arrow that I can throw in there. I got $10 of USDC. I got $20 of Morpho. I can add any of those I want to that position with a click. I don't have to exit. I don't have to do a bunch of math and have some dust left over. I can just enter it. Rebalance. If I want to rebalance, if it's out of range, like my Wrapped ETH Morpho, I can come in here. It's out of range. I can very easily select, if I think that Morpho is only going to be up from here, I can have a really tight range on the bottom. I can spread out my range on top. Even with a 12% width on my spread, I'm still making 1,692%. So this is kind of like a snuggle. You can do that. You can withdraw if I want my whole deposit. If I want to compound, if I want to take on this one, if I want to take the $50.96 that I've earned in fees and compound that back in, I can do that. If I want to harvest it, like I did to get into Plume, all I did is I went down all of my pools and everything that I've earned. I just went down and I just said, one click. I selected that I wanted to take it out in the USDC. I put my slippage to 0.25, and I just went down the line and I just harvested. And and basically, like right now, I could take out $284.50, and I could go buy more Plume, or I could buy more of whatever asset I'm bullish on.
Can you go back to
what's that?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, this
go back?
is what makes VFAT so pleasing over Aerodrome. I'm really hoping that Aerodrome tries to model its UI or user interface to be more like VFAT, because it's fucking genius.
So are all those pools that you're in, all those pairs, are they also in your Aerodrome dashboard? I think my question is, yeah, okay. So that's my question is, I'm worried that if you don't initially enter the pair on Aerodrome, the only thing that I've noticed is that you stake on there, right? I've only entered one.
It does it for you, right?
On Aerodrome, and then I migrated it to.
All right, so check this out.
I guess so.
There's just not as many liquidity pools on VFAT as there are on Aerodrome. I think that's like one of the biggest things. It only pulls like certain ones, right?
So I have noticed that all of them that are on Uniswap and Aerodrome aren't on VFAT. However, if you go to pools, you have Uniswap, you have Pancake Swap, you have Velodrome, you have Aerodrome. Those are the four platforms that you have access to their pools on VFAT. It's like I said, it's an aggregator. So, basically it's a one-stop shop for 4 different platforms. And you have Ethereum mainnet, which I would stay away from personally. You have Optimism, you have Arbitrum, you have Avalanche, you have BNB Chain, Linea, Mode, Base, and Fractal.
I don't even mess with none of that yet.
Like I said,
Base.
Go ahead. Yeah. So I would select Base, and that's me personally what I would stick to. And then you can just go down here, and again, like Wrapped ETH USDC has the second highest TVL. The past 7 days in fees, great amount of fees, and the APR is, and I'm not that's not what it is. Because I mean, I can go into and show you that that's not what I'm earning right now. Well, I'm earning 45% right now, so I take that back. So that is the advantages to VFAT is it gives you a wider range of choices and a wider range of functionality when it comes to what you can do with your pools. However, this aerodrome is a great place if you're just new to DeFi and you just want a nice, safe, cheap fee place to enter liquidity pools and to just very easily monitor what it is that those pools are doing and peel off your arrow to hodl, to sell off and swap into other other projects or whatever it is you want to do. Now, to answer your question, Josh,
Gotcha.
if you open a pool, what it does is it creates an NFT. So on Aerodrome, when you enter a liquidity pool, it create like this right here is an actual NFT in my wallet. This USDC Aero pair is an NFT in my wallet. That is why over here it shows up. Is I connected my wallet and it recognized that I have this NFT in my wallet. However, it's up here because it's on Aerodrome. It's not on VFAT like these are down here. Now I can go over here and I can migrate it. So what that would do is if I hit migrate, it's going to charge some fees, but it will move that NFT from Aerodrome over to VFAT and give me this additional functionality. So I can view it here, but I can't interact with it here unless I migrate it. Make sense?
And you don't need to migrate it because there's no range to there. You don't need to use any of the fancy technicals or anything, right?
Exactly. Basically, the only thing that I would ever do with an AMM where there is no range is harvest, which, like I said, I showed you, I can do it right here. I can claim it right there. I don't need to go to VFAT for that.
So if you don't mind, let's switch gears to locking real quick. I'd like to see if you can show me what you're earning. I don't think I still have my head wrapped around.
The locking is much less, right, Mike? I think you were saying not long after you started, you said that the lock was just more for a long-term hold and the flight school, which you didn't really initially know about. It was just kind of a happy accident.
No, full disclosure, I fucking stumbled upon this 2,900, or it's actually 2,100. I accidentally stumbled on, basically 3,000 fucking Aero. So 3,000, over $3,000 I accidentally stumbled on. And Jeff,
couch cushion.
Yeah. Thank you again, Jeff, for helping me figure this out because I didn't know about flight school. Like I said, I jumped into DeFi because out there that was really digging deep on it. And I wanted to find ways to earn residual income. So I threw this, 5,100, initially, like I said, it's 5,100 plus the 800 that I've earned, but I threw 5,100 Aero into a lock, and there's a thing called flight school, and anything over 2,500 Aero, they match roughly 50%. And so I threw 5,100 in, I got about 2,500 in an airdrop, basically. It just showed up in my wallet and it freaked me the fuck out because I was like, where the fuck did $2,500 come from? And at the time, Aero was actually at like over $2. So I was like, where did $5 fucking grand come from?
Right.
Just magically, you don't not notice $5 grand.
Yeah, no shit. When that's dropped though, is that it's also locked in there with it as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
The
whatever,
same time frame.
whatever I locked for 4 years, as you can see.
Yeah.
I locked 5,100 for 4 years. So it gave me the full amount, because that's the max. It gave me the full amount of flight school. So it gave me like the full 50%. If you only lock for a week or a month or whatever, and actually I think it has to be more than a month, because flight school is paid out monthly, not weekly like the epochs. And I could be wrong on that. So do your own research.
No,
But
I think you're right. What I was reading is that you might want to be careful and do it for at least a couple months because of what you said, that if you only do it for a month and it starts, if you didn't nail it right on time, you're not going to
Yep.
get it. So, but you're earning something with that though, like, right? You got the airdrop, and then isn't there something weekly that you're earning, and you can what can you do with that? Can you, is that liquid? Can you mess with that? Or, because that's kind of my thing is like,
I've been scared to try, because the only option I have is withdraw lock. And whenever I click that,
oh, that seems like the whole thing.
yeah, see, like this is, it gives you the rewards pending. This is like everything that's in that. And I don't want to execute that. So I honestly, I don't know. I want it to keep pounding, because as you can see, I started out with 5,100 here, but I've earned 800, and every week it compounds. So now instead of just earning off of 5,100, I'm earning off of almost 6,000. And so over 4, and that's only 2.5 months. So do the math, over 4 years, I might end up to where I have like 40, 50,000 or more freaking Arrow. And if Arrow is worth $30 a piece in 4 years, it's a gamble. I get it. It could go to zero. But
I don't think I don't think it's going to go lower. I mean, if it's still around, I don't. Yeah, it could. Sure. I guess like anything else, but I think that's a good move, man. I'm still conflicted. I feel a little bit of time pressure, because if I wait until the bull run's over, that's my conflict. Is I want to, get the appreciation of the arrow that I have. And then, say that the top of the bull run, I pull out profits, wait for things to dip back down, buy more arrow, and then lock it. Then I don't want it to necessarily unlock after the next 4-year bull run when things have plummeted, so it's kind of a tough decision to either lock it now and take that gamble, or I mean, it would only be like half an arrow, but
just lock it for 3 years, or 3 years. It's a slider. So basically,
if I do it, I'm gonna go the full 4. I mean, to me, I guess that's a good point.
Well, look at this. It's a slider, so you can go you can go 5 days, 2 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years. I mean,
that would actually solve my problem, because then I wouldn't have to take the bull run into consideration. I just want, if I was gonna, I'm like kind of, all or nothing on it. Like, if you're gonna get the flight school, you might as well get the most out of it. I mean, if you're going 3, you might as well go 4, but that kind of puts you in the position of whether you're going to do it before or after the bull run, which can be a hard choice.
The way that I look at it is, with the DeFi that I'm doing, I'm going either have or going to earn as much free arrow as I have as I initially locked. The 5,100 arrow that I locked, I've at least earned that in DeFi already. So to me, that was free money that I'm kind of gambling with, like going to Vegas, putting it on black and letting it ride. I mean, that's kind of how I'm treating that, to where I think Arrow, the platform, the way that it's structured to where it's not a profit, it's not a business that's like profiting, because all the fees go to VE Arrow, people that locked, in these locks that got VE Arrow like me, because that's what happens is you lock it in here and you get VE Arrow. All the VE Arrow holders, all the fees go back to VE Arrow holders. So it's not like there's, like this massive fucking headquarters full of employees that they're paying.
We have to vote on that.
Yeah, like XRP and Ripple, they're selling XRP to pay their operating costs. You don't have that going on with Arrow, from my understanding. So I see, and they're backed by BlackRock, they're backed by Coinbase. They have a bunch of investors. I just see them being around to where I'm not worried about it, and so I'm willing to gamble with a portion of my bag.
Well, it sounds like maybe because I don't have a ton of money to play with, and my Arrow is my biggest bag. I would love to experience the appreciation that we're gonna likely see this bull run. So I might wait for this to be over, pull some profits. If I've got comfortably 2,500 left, then I'll lock it for 3 years and it'll unlock in time for the next bull run. I think that'd be a good move. That makes me that solves that problem. Let me see.
And also, Josh, if you have that, if you're able to get that flight school too, that Arrow that you would have locked up. I mean, what would Arrow be, in 4 years too? Like, you're just sitting on a nice little nest egg.
Well, if you lock 2,500, you'd probably get, if you locked for 3 years, it'd be a little less than 50%. So you get at least like 1,000, a little over 1,000 free Arrow.
I think it's
right off the bat.
Yeah,
just right off the bat. And then, like on mine, it's earning its own separate rewards every week. That's getting compounded.
That's what I'm more. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm more interested in. Yeah, the lock. I mean, the flight school is great. That is an awesome bonus, but the compounding rewards, I guess that's dictated by how much you're locking, right? Or how the rewards that you get, how is that determined?
Well, that's determined by two things. It should be by the amount that you have locked and the length that you have it locked for.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. So what's the right and wrong time to enter or exit a liquidity pool? Like period in time, like you may not want to do this. I don't know, answer that however you want, but is there right or wrong times to enter, to exit, or is it just about how you play it?
As far as liquidity pools, or
yeah. Sorry, shifting kind of.
Honestly, it's when it comes to Aerodrome, if Dune was working, I could show you how the votes, play into like the potential of how much you can earn. So that's one factor. There's actually quite a few factors. On a dip, if you can buy in like VVV right now, it's it could dip further, of course, but it's definitely on a dip. If you bought into a dip on something that you thought was going to bounce, that would be a great time, because you're going to get the price appreciation plus the fees, with a higher chance of upward price appreciation as opposed to, further dumping. This wrap ETH USDC, the reason that I'm down like $800 or $900 right now is, again, I bought into this when ETH was 37 something. So right now, I mean, it's great, and I have to ignore the fact that I'm down because I know that, or I hope at some point ETH is going to go back up. But the whole time that I've been down on my deposit, I've stayed in a range and I'm earning because I did a nice wide range and I've earned a couple of $100. So actually, I've only lost probably like $400. And when this goes back up, I'll earn all of that back plus some, plus the the $500 or $600 or $700 by then that I'll have earned in fees. So there's a lot of patience and just understanding that you should only enter liquidity pools that you have confidence in the assets, unless it's a small amount of your DeFi bag, like VVV for me.
And for you to regain that, what you've lost in price depreciation of Ethereum, for you to regain that, you have to avoid rebalancing altogether, or you have to avoid, you just cannot, you got to stay away from rebalancing because every time, or just by how much.
When it drops.
Yeah.
Mike, you said rebalance if it pokes out the top, like after a few hours or maybe a day.
No, if it pokes out the top, like say that this right here, goes out the top and it goes above 3,575, and ETH is on a run. Like say ETH starts breaking out because it's that part of the cycle, and I see it pop up, I'll probably rebalance. But probably what I'll do when I rebalance is I'll tuck up, like if it's 3,575, if it's above that, I'll probably tuck this up at like maybe 3,400, but I'll pump the top end way up, and maybe I'll do 20% because ETH is on a run. And, so basically what I'll do is I'm assuming that it's going to keep running to the upside, but I'm giving it a little bit of a buffer in case that it corrects a little bit, and again, I'll look at the charts and I'll look for support. I'll look for resistance, those sorts of things. But that's how I usually do my adjustments. When it goes out the bottom, I'll usually wait 24 hours to see if it pops back into range. If it doesn't, a lot of times, especially if it's on Aerodrome and the fees are low, I'll just rebalance. And maybe I'm fucking up, I don't know, but the way I look at it is I keep earning fees, and when ETH goes back up, I'm going to get that price appreciation and make the money back that I lost, minus fees. But on Aerodrome, the fees are so negligible, like a $1 or $2 tops. Who cares?
Right. It's not like
that's my 2 cents.
So it's not really like the rebalancing fees that make it, a bad idea to rebalance all the time, as much as the impermanent loss that you're locking in.
Honestly,
is that right?
I was scared of impermanent loss for a long time, and I don't give a shit about it anymore, because really impermanent loss, what it refers to as the difference between hodling and being in a liquidity pool. My DeFi bag is like 20% maybe of my entire portfolio. I have my hodl bags that I'm getting that price appreciation. I'm learning and building this out because I want to have a residual income. When I get out of the market, when I feel like that, I've made my nut, I made my 10x on my portfolio, I got my $1 million or whatever, and I'm out in stables, I'm going to wait for the market to crash, and I'm going to start to DCA back in. I'll probably put my, a portion of my USDC or USDT in a lending pool to where, there's minimal risk, and other people that want to trade can pay me 10 to 20%. And so I can keep earning. but I'm just going to sit back and let the market crash. And once the market crashes, I'm going to DCA in all through the bear market and just earn yield, off of these things while people are trading and doing whatever. And I really don't care about what I missed out on, because that's really all that is what you potentially might have missed out on. It's like saying I didn't time the top. I got out of the market before the exact top. Nobody's going to time the top. It's an exercise in futility.
It seems like a combo of you having such a small, like fair percentage, 20% of your portfolio dedicated to DeFi, combined with that 20% being a decent chunk of money. So, those things means that you're not putting it all on the line, and what is on the line is earning something decent.
And honestly, that's with DeFi, that's what you should be focused on, is building a portfolio that, like here, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like right now, these are my daily rewards. I switched this to monthly. I'm making $13,428. I'm making more monthly than what I have deposited.
If the VVV stays true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I mean, yeah. This is assuming that if everything stayed the way that it is, but if you're managing your portfolio properly, and like the majority of my portfolio is in this wrapped ETH USDC that's been in range for quite some time and is earning me, very good yield. And then of course I have like my USDC Arrow that's, making me better returns, but a much wider range, like 20% is what I have on my range. If you diversify across a bunch of pools, yeah, some of them are going to go out of range. Some of them are going to, drop and go up as far as their APRs. But if you're spread across a bunch of them, you're going to be hitting on some, and you make small adjustments when needed. And I mean, shit, say I earn half that, say I earn $6,000 a month off of $12,000. I made a 50% return in a month. An extra $6,000 a month off of 12 grand. If I can add $6,000 a month that I can, buy into other projects or peel off and pay a couple bills or go on a trip with my lady, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, those numbers are something I'll be playing with more after this bull run, hopefully, in DeFi. But right now I'm thinking, I'm trying to take a zero off of those things. Like, so if I had 1,200 in total deposits, I'd be making 600
absolutely.
a month off of that. But that translates though, right? I mean, that's
$600 a month will pay all your groceries.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll pay for your car plus some gas.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I'm just making sure I'm not getting that incorrect though, that if I'm trying to put it in my frame of mind of what it might look like more realistically for me, but just taking a zero off of each of those, it still would behave the same, right? It doesn't change just because I have. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So other than.
And if you make the key to a lot of this is like me. I'll tell you, I live like a fucking hermit, and I don't spend a ton of money. You can look at me and see that. I am huge on maximizing everything I earn. I am rolling back into different investments. I'm not taking trips, even though I'm making good money, I'm not taking trips. I eat well, I enjoy my life, but I have my retirement. I'm retired. It's I don't have a mortgage. I paid, I built my cabin myself with my own hands. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a whole lot of bills. I have no debt. I positioned myself to where I don't need this money, to where I can reinvest it. in crypto, in gold, in silver, in real estate, in whatever, is I'm snowballing that, or I'm compounding that into into different investments, to where it's this flywheel effect, to where
Mm-hmm.
any monies I make, yes, I can peel some off to enjoy life. But if I'm just chilling out doing chores around the property, I can be out cutting wood, or working on my hydroelectric project, and I'm making money while I'm doing it. That is when I'm sleeping, I'm making money, and you guys are now too. While
Mm-hmm.
I'm sleeping, I'm making money. You know, that is the fucking life hack, is enjoying your life, doing what you want, live small, earn big, and just fucking compound as much as you can and grow that bag. Because if you're disciplined and you understand that it's a slow and steady process, the tortoise wins the race, you will be successful.
So would you consider it wise to, um, I mean, I guess if you're entering liquidity pools right now at the beginning of the bull run, that's a good thing because you're also exposed to the price appreciation, right?
What's that? I'm sorry.
If you're entering into liquidity pools right now at the beginning of a bull run, you would consider that a good thing because you're also exposed to the price appreciation, but it's only really by half of whatever, because
It's
you're
well, you're going to be
splitting it into
exposed to price
two
appreciation. Just
two
bottom line.
assets, right? So yeah.
Me personally, I'll be getting out of all my liquidity pools except for a USDT USDC pair. Um, you know, as I'm getting out of the market, and I'm going to be out of the market well before the end of the bull market. I'm not going to be greedy. Um, and then I'll be 100% into USDC USDT, and then after the market, as the market's crashing, I'll probably be buying into Bitcoin, here and there, just depending on what Bitcoin does. If I
Hmm.
see like huge dips, I'll probably buy chunks. If I don't see it dip that much, I'll probably just do small amounts. And when we're deep in the bear market, I'll be slowly getting back into DeFi and picking liquidity pools, start building my bull run bags, all during the bear market when there is no price appreciation. I'll be building out those bags so that when the market starts taking off, I'm gonna, if I make $800,000 this bull run, I might take $100,000 of it and put it into DeFi, and then 700,000 I'm just going to lend out in stables and things like that. Put it on in places where I can just earn a steady 5, 6, 7% or 10 or
And real
20.
world assets.
Yeah, real world
Yeah.
asset,
Yeah.
real estate, things like that,
Yes.
to where I de-leveraged my risk. And again, I can buy, like around my property here, I can buy 100 acres that has, I can have it surveyed, has awesome fucking timber on it with cedar and good quality fucking lumber for construction.
Hmm.
I could buy it, 100 acres for like 100 grand. I can have it logged and make like 60 grand. So it only cost me 40,000 for the property. And
Love
I
it.
can use
Love
that
that idea.
money to invest in other things. I own the property outright, and I can improve it, subdivide it, and sell it off as cabin properties because I improved it. Use that money that I made off of logging it to run power to it, put septic, level some building sites, and sell it to people that want a homestead and make a fucking killing. There's a lot of
Hmm.
things you could do. Once you start having the capital to where you don't have to like go for a loan.
Yeah. After this bull run, that's going to be when the ball gets rolling for a lot of us, I think, to have several thousand to put in, even retail normies like me who's just, got a few grand in here and there. Uh, if you put it in the right places and then come out with 10 and put that into DeFi, then you can really, that it'll just snowball, I think I'm excited for that. So other than like an FTX situation or like the, arrow going down or something like that, what is a scenario where you could lose all your money in this? Like, could you be so neglectful or so, make such a bad move?
The divergence loss would be one, I think.
Well,
okay.
Right.
Well, it'd be three things. So one, like say VVV. Say VVV ended up being a rug pull, or you entered into a wrapped ETH meme coin pair, and the meme coin gets rugged. You're going to lose everything. If the platform gets hacked and your funds get taken, you'll lose everything. If a platform goes out of business, it goes under because of mismanagement, you could lose everything. Those are the three things that will cause you to lose everything. Otherwise, you're probably just going to lose a portion or a chunk of what you invested.
Yeah, not entirely all of it.
So why wouldn't somebody do this with every asset in their bag? I mean, is there any reason to not, just because I could think of, one, it might be overwhelming to take that many positions with that many assets if you're not really even keeping that good a track of one pair. You might just overwhelm yourself and kind of lose track of what you're gaining and what you're losing. But if you get that all honed in, using your impermanent loss spreadsheet and stuff, what would be a reason you could do this with every asset you have, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, for the most part, there's some like anybody that's followed me at all, they know I love Casper. CSPR. It's a project that's been out there, and it's definitely had some taken some knocks, but I own quite a bit. It's one of my largest bags, but I feel, I'm not saying go out and buy it. I feel like it's going to do some great things. It's one as of right now that there is no DeFi for, but they are about to launch on a DeFi platform, and I plan on putting a portion of my bag into that. I'm earning about 16% right now, or 15% staking, but I want to earn more. So, once the DeFi hits, I'll probably take like 25% and DeFi it. But yeah, there's some projects out there. Ondo, I've had a really hard time finding places to where I am comfortable DeFiing my Ondo.
Nice. Does you mean on a platform like Aerodrome or what do you mean by that? Because I know Ondo they have a website called Ondo Finance, right? Like I haven't checked it out yet, but is that the DeFi aspect of it, or?
It's more of a real world assets. They have a USDY, I believe it's called, which is a stable coin. From what I've seen, actually, I'll just go there.
What's your brother thinking of using for real estate and stuff? Would he use like Propy or?
He actually wants to build out his own. That's what we were talking about the other night. Is he has a title company, and he sees the writing on the wall, to where a lot of what they do, once things start getting tokenized, and AI and all those sorts of things, it's basically going to make what he's doing obsolete. And he's a smart enough guy that he wants to be proactive and is already talking to developers about building something out to offer tokenization of real estate as a service. So this is Ondo Finance. Really, the only thing you could do on it is you have this USDY and OUSG. It's like the treasuries that you can earn these yields on. you can't really use your Ondo to earn.
I see.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Loving the
I mean,
chat over here, by the way. I don't know why I can't I can only respond to Rumble viewers,
well,
but
here you have to.
all of our buddies are into the homestead life, man. I love having a foot in both worlds, like the finance and the old school.
So right here,
Mhm.
if you have to go down to this and select and go to all, and then you can respond to both YouTube and Rumble. You see that?
Oh wait, message. I don't have.
No, mine doesn't show up either on here.
Yeah, I
It
was
just
gonna
shows
say I
up
don't.
the.
Well, you can always open up a tab and go to. You can
Yeah,
always
I
open up a
have
tab
YouTube
and go to
open.
YouTube.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is
Well,
the only
I'm
thing
reading
that is on Ondo is really is you can just buy USDY and earn yield on it. You can't really, and there is places that you can go to that offer liquidity pairs on Ondo. Like actually, let me see if. Yeah, see. Oh, hold on. So yeah, these are the only ones. They're all on Uniswap. You have a wrapped ETH Ondo and a USDT Ondo, and they're earning some decent yields. So I mean, I guess I could like stop crying about it and actually enter one of these. I'm just so bullish on Ondo. I kind of want to just go with the price appreciation.
That's where I'm at. Is I'm conflicted. I think I'm just gonna wait till I want to learn about this because I'm so in over my head. I feel like I just have to get familiar with all this to where it's second nature. And then go into this when stuff starts, chopping sideways. Well, and
they're
quick though.
That's what it was. Hold on. That's why I didn't do it. They're all ETH main.
Oh, they're all on ETH. Yeah.
The fees would fucking ass rate me.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say is I see the Uniswap next to it or whatever. I guess that's next level kind of stuff for me. But what is the main difference? Because I'm just messing with Aerodrome and stuff like that. If I start going into the filter and going through instead of base chain, going through Uniswap or
well, Uniswap's the protocol. The network will, as long as you keep it on base, you can do the Uniswap pool because that's what the VVV pool is in, and that's why I was looking for it on Aerodrome, and I couldn't find it last night.
There is VVV on Aerodrome,
but it's not it's the wrapped ETH. It's not the USDC one.
That's
the one I wanted.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. Right, I couldn't find it either. And what is the difference though with it? I understand now they're both on base chain, but the Uniswap, the Aerodrome, and then what is that Pancake Swap? What does that change in terms of
just a different exchange?
It's a different protocol. So like with Pancake Swap, my understanding is I believe it pays out in cake. So like Aerodrome, they pay out in Arrow, they pay out in cake. Uniswap, they usually pay out in the pairs. So like on my liquidity pairs on Uniswap, I get VVV like equal amount of USDC and VVV. So it just depends. Like different protocols pay out differently.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Cool. Yeah.
Well, I mean, should we cut it off? I think we've gone like an hour and 40 minutes. I mean, I'm sure you guys are probably need to go.
Yeah, that was pretty much all that I had. Off the top of my head this time around. That was good though, man. I hope it helps some other newbies like me. I mean, as much time as there's anybody feeling discouraged out there, confused, as much time as I've spent on this, I feel still in the weeds on it.
Dude,
and so it's a
don't feel
grueling
bad.
learning
Well, dude,
process.
you have a job that you go to. Like, think of it this way. I'm retired and I've spent the past 2.5 months, like at a minimum of 8 hours a day teaching myself this, watching videos, doing it, making mistakes. I've invested a lot of fucking time in that 2.5 months to get where I'm at. Doing it part-time for a couple hours here and there, it's a lot. When you're trying to, learn about these different platforms and how they operate, how the fees work, how the, divergence loss works. And, it's like learning, through a fire hose. You're getting fucking, information sprayed at you at a very high rate. And, if you're throwing a lot of money in, there's a lot of potential for, loss if you do it wrong. So, take it easy on yourself. And like I said, anybody out there that's listening, take it easy on yourself. Start out with a small amount, start on Aerodrome where you don't have a lot of options, just, get on there, pick, a nice
VFAT actually, because the VFAT, I know Aerodrome is a good place to start, but the VFAT is like having the picking the range and stuff is it just
but
looks much.
You have the added fees
visually.
You have the added fees. You have the. You're right. It does make it easier. But
if you throw in a couple $100, the fees won't really matter at that point, right?
Well, they can. Because it's still about 1%. The thing for me is it helped me learn starting on Aerodrome and having to figure out, the split. So, if I just enter
liquidity and staking and
so if I go here and I deposit liquidity and I don't do custom, say that I just do Aero and USDC. And I do a new deposit. Oh, actually, no, sorry. I need to do something other. There we go. Concentrated liquidity pool. So if I do any of these, it's a 50-50 split. If I do a narrow, a common, or a wide, it's a 50-50 split. And, you just need an equal amount of Aero and USDC. Now, if I go to custom range and I start adjusting the bottom or the top end, I'm going to need more of one and less of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps you understand how your deposit, how it's built out and how that affects how you're being DCA'd in and out of those positions. So me personally, to make it simpler and to get to where you understand how liquidity pools work, I would say, and cheaper fees, I would say start on Aerodrome.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get a feel of that, maybe use VFAT to, enter a smaller position. And once you feel comfortable with that, then you can expand out from there. That would be my suggestion.
92 C90.
Oh yeah, you're just a little younger than my brother. My brother's 91.
Oh, dude, you graduated in 92?
No.
That's when he was born.
Oh no, I was born in 92.
I was gonna say, dude, I graduated high school in 1992.
Yep. It's time is flying, dude.
Hey, Grandpa.
I turned 51 this year.
Yeah.
Faster and faster, doesn't it?
Oh, dude, yeah. Don't get me started. Yeah, but I honestly, like physically, I can probably do more than most 18-year-olds these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Jeff said he's gonna go wingsuiting with us when at the end of this bull run.
Ooh,
dude, I'll
man.
tell you, like I said, I never wingsuited, but I skydived for 15 years, and my lady wants to go skydiving. But if you want to get back into skydiving, I will definitely go wingsuiting.
Yeah,
But
man. Yeah, let's
at
do it.
some point, I want to wingsuit the Alps or something like that.
Oh shit.
Because
Yeah.
dude, those videos where they're just fucking like tree topping it, and
Oh,
like
Andy
Yeah.
Stump.
oh, dude, that just looks like
Yeah.
such a rush.
Yeah.
I've been skydiving twice, and both were by myself, not attached. So that I don't want to break that streak. I hate to having to go tandem now, but to get my A license, I definitely would
So
have to go
I
tandem.
have over 10,000 skydives. And,
Hell yeah.
So I did it in the military. I did competition skydiving for about 15 years.
Shit,
And
man.
I haven't done it for a minute, but I honestly, I quit. And I'll tell you why is adrenaline is a fucking drug. And
Mhm.
once you get to a point to where like you start to do riskier and riskier things to get that rush, and it gets to a point to where it's like, if I stay on this path, I'm gonna fucking die. So
yeah,
like
it's hard to set limits. Yeah.
Yeah, like I actually jumped a couple times without my altimeter because it gave me more of a rush.
Damn, man. The first time I went, I waited an extra 1,000 feet. I knew I was supposed to
Oh
pull,
yeah,
like we
pulled
jumped
low.
at like, yeah, well, not really. I just, I'm no mathematician, but we jumped at 55. Let's see, we jumped at 12,000. I was supposed to pull at 5,500.
Around
And
5,000 if you were a new
yeah,
jumper.
and I was like, that's like halfway up. Like I got some extra time, So I waited, and they're kind of like waiting on me to pull. And I waited so long that it wasn't because I waited so long, but I went back to pull my chute, and I forgot. I was so focused on my altitude, I forgot to wave off. And so I went to reach, and I didn't throw my chute. I was like, oh shit, and went back to wave off. And when I did that, Buddy pulled my chute for me. And so I went back to reach for it and couldn't find my toggle. And I just started kind of spinning, and all of a sudden was, taken up by the chute.
Well,
and,
you're reaching back like you had a hacky pilot, pilot chute, because usually students have them on their chest.
Oh, huh.
But it's been a minute since I went, so fuck, who knows? But
yeah, no, it was like a hacky. You mean like a ball?
Yeah, it's a bot on the bottom of the container. Usually, that's where like mine was. But yeah, no, it's
crazy.
It's a ton of fun. But yeah, I got way too into adrenaline, and it was I had to take a break. I'll put it that way.
Well, it should be good to a little should go a long way. Then let's do a couple jumps at some point. We'll celebrate after this bull run a little bit. And
well, I'll tell you, this spring I'm gonna travel out to where I started. My lady wants to jump, and I want to take her out there. There's a couple of drop zones out on the Puget Sound on the Olympic Peninsula, and the view from up there is fucking amazing. You can see all the Olympic Peninsula. You can see the Puget Sound.
Oh, yeah.
You can see Mount Rainier in the distance. And on a clear day, you can see Mount Hood. And it's just a fucking gorgeous, gorgeous view. And so I want to take her out there for her first time.
Yeah, that sounds like a good first go. That'll get her hooked.
Yeah.
You might be in trouble then. You might be right back in the game, dude. She might be taking you out every weekend after that.
I'm not scared. It's just I just realized that I was getting to the point to where I almost wasn't getting adrenaline rushes anymore. Just because I was so used to it. It was almost boring going skydiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't need any extra certs or anything, do you? You could just buy yourself a wingsuit and go out of the plane with that, or you got your A license and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I had my D license.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say 10,000 is probably, I don't know what.
yeah. It's yeah. I mean, I would probably need to go through some refresher courses and get them to sign off saying, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. But yeah, within
Mhm.
like a jump or two, I would be right back at it and could do whatever.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's the dream, baby. I wanna fly. I wanna get up in those wingsuits too. It's on the bucket list.
Hell yeah. Well, all right. Well, dude, let's keep at it, man. Let's keep at the DeFi
Yeah.
and keep at the airdrops and keep at the crypto. And if all works out, man, fucking, we can just do like the endless adrenaline rush. We can just go do nothing but travel and go surfing and go skydiving and freaking scuba diving, free diving, whatever the fuck we want to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hit the
I
hot
got
spots
scuba
around the world.
certified. I love doing
Hell
all the
yeah.
diving, man. Yeah.
Ooh, shit.
Jeff, I'm gonna hit you up about those airdrops, man. I definitely, not to overwhelm myself, but I need to get, those airdrops seem like a cool thing. And you found Plume through doing stuff like testnet stuff, and
Yeah.
that seems like a super good way to get your foot in early on some stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, cool, guys. Yeah, that was great. Thanks for all the info and appreciate what you guys do. Thanks for being patient with me. I'm
Happy to help, man.
Oh, dude, of course, brother. Yeah, no, that's the only reason that we're doing this. I mean, this channel isn't monetized. We don't have sponsors. Me and Jeff just, he has this channel where he's, trying to grow it and, stuff like that. This is something he just takes time, out of his life to help people. And that's all this channel is just to help people. We're not trying to get, 100,000 freaking subscribers. We're not, trying to get sponsors and,
education.
It's all about education, man. We're not going to shill you tokens. We're not going to do anything. So, hey, we appreciate all you guys that show up. Black Ice, C90, freaking, I know a lot of the guys aren't here tonight. This was kind of off schedule, but we appreciate all you guys that take the time to show up and support. We really do.
Yeah, and Truck Dano was on Twitter.
Oh, nice!
Shout out Truck Dano.
Yeah, dude, Truck Dano's the shit. I freaking love that guy. Well, all right. Well, I'm out. I'm gonna go get some dinner. Freaking appreciate you guys, and we'll definitely talk soon.
Appreciate it, fellas.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thanks again, guys. You too.